Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm writing to react or respond Gaur Das, but it's soda or water bottle. How about sweet tea? So, I don't know, I just saw this one, it's like, I have no idea what this is going to be about because soda or water bottle? What's the soda in a can? A bottle? Glass? No, soda's going to be in different kind of things, but water bottle, of course, that's very clear. But anyways, I don't know what it's about, let's go to give it a shot.
Don't get too worked up with this stuff. There's always going to be a trigger in your life, you know? There's always going to be a trigger, a stimulus in your life, guys. You know what? If you do this, can you imagine? Shh. I fail an exam. I'm being bullied in school. There's a trigger, there's a stimulus. Exam mein failure ho gaya, galti ho gaya. Parents are yelling at me. They are expecting too much of me. Expectation from family, parents, failures in college, school, not getting what you want, not getting the marks that you think you should have gotten. In my last semester in engineering, I was wanting to stand first. I lost my first grade for 4 marks. 4 marks, guys. I don't get what I want sometimes. I'm just so frustrated. There is always a trigger, and when parents get onto your nerves, how many of you felt angry? How many of you felt angry when you get judged by your friends and not accepted in the group easily? How many of you feel angry when people mock you and crack jokes at you and tease you for no reason? Guys, pressure hota rehta hai. बहुत pressure बढ़ता रहता है. So many triggers, so many stimuli, and guess what happens, guys? How many of you felt this when this pressure increases? बाहर आता है? How many of you shouted at home? Thank you. How many of you shouted at your friends? Thank you. How many of you wanted to yell and shout at teachers but couldn't shout? Thank you. Thank you very much. Always going to be a trigger, isn't it? Pressure banta rehta hai idhar. And now look at this, guys. Failed in exam, mistakes happen, parents are yelling, friends don't like me, I'm not accepted, my expectations are not fulfilled, I wanted that phone, I didn't get it. It's water. You know what? Whenever there is a cause of disturbance, a stimulus, there is going to be a response. When somebody shouts at you, you're angry, you do something. When something doesn't happen your way, you're angry, you do something. But you know something? In between the trigger and the response is a space. In that space, you need to talk to yourself. When somebody does this to you, rather than coming out, you need to talk to yourself.
Nope. Often the events that happen to us are beyond our control, but our response to them is not. Positive self-talk is a skill that can be gradually mastered through consistent practice. By changing our self-talk, we can improve our reaction to these events. Okay, so a couple of things there that I could also give it somewhat of an advice about. So, using this example, well, for one, it could be carbonated water. It's a thing, and it will react the same way as soda. But maybe he means soda water, which then, okay, makes sense, because I think soda water is just carbonated water. There are people out there who likes that kind of stuff. I don't. But anyways, in terms of the explosion, you know, you saw that how it was shaking up the bottle. Obviously, if you open it up in a group of people, it's going to get a lot of people mad and angry. But if you bring that into, say, a sink and properly covered it up as best you can open it up and not make too much of a mess. So essentially, you could say that another alternative, it's not the best one, but it's an alternative to being water is until you become water, of course, is know when to explode. But it's to not explode in front of people, not to explode in front of your teachers, but to maybe go to a boxing, not a boxing match, but like, a gym. Use that anger to explode on the weights, not destroy the weights, but to motivate you to get stronger, to exercise. A lot of people use weight training as a way to de-stress, to let off steam. Or if you have a punching bag, you know, all that buildup, you can go to that punching bag and start letting loose on the Joker. Start punching that punching bag. Or maybe going to the bed and punching your bed, something like that. It's another, again, an alternative way of letting out the steam until you become water, of course. I like to think of realistic things where obviously there is the best answer and there's the answer that you get until you get to the best answer. So, like, if you're still carbonated water, then obviously you can't be water. Until all that carbonation is released, you're still carbonated water. Because even if once you release that, you tighten back up and you shake again, it will release again. Practicality, realistic stuff. But yeah, there's many alternatives. Like people in any kind of sports or video games or hobbies, whatever it may be, sleeping maybe too. That's a very good hobby. Anything to release that steam, but not in a public way, not in front of the people who has caused that. Perhaps until you become water, there's alternate ways of dealing with that pressure. Hopefully, you can find a productive escape for that pressure. Again, sports, video games, a type of hobby. Like cooking can be a hobby, although I would say it might be pretty bad if you cook good food and then you have to eat it. I mean, like eat too much of it, of course. You stress eat and stuff like that. Not a very good hobby to get into. So stress eating, not good. um, but yeah, what else did he say? I guess hopefully realizing. I think that's about it. Really, about how to deal with the pressure. Um, because outside of that, assuming it's enlightenment or or just realizing. This one's another method, I guess, is just understanding and realizing. You failed your grade. Well, I hope you understand why you failed. You want the new phone, but you can't. Well, I hope you understand why you can't get the new phone. Um, why you got less marks because you didn't answer the questions correctly. I mean, it's pretty seems to like very simple, straightforward things, but a lot of the problems generally are straightforward. It's just because we don't see it as something being straightforward doesn't mean it isn't straightforward. So, the reason why you didn't do well in the test, well, because you didn't study. So if you understand, it's like, well, okay, I deserve this because I didn't study. Or the reason why I didn't get the phones because, well, I didn't, I have too much bills, I spent too much last month, or, I don't make enough money in my job and have to save up, a year's worth of work to afford a new phone. And maybe you can think to yourself, like, okay, well, maybe I can't afford this one now. Maybe I'll save up enough for next year when a new one releases, and I'll get that one instead. Just by reasoning with things and by understanding why things are the way they are, hopefully that will also prevent that buildup, the pressure buildup. And whenever strangers, yell or belittle you or call you whatever, well, understand that they're just strangers. They don't know you, so it shouldn't affect you. Again, that all depends whether you're a kind of person who can handle that. To me, I'm kind of like that. Like, if you don't know me and you're calling me some random stuff, it's like, well, okay. I mean, I guess maybe. Like, I'm not gonna take it as the truth just because you don't know me. So, again, many ways of dealing with the pressure, either by understanding or doing hobbies. Obviously, the water is the best way to be, but if you cannot be that, there's alternate methods until you can become that. And then understanding is another method to where you don't let pressure build up too much, but because you understand that you can let it build up a little bit and then come back down because you're like, yeah, I actually I deserve that. I didn't study for this. I made an 85. It's not an A, but man, that's amazing for not studying at all. So things like that. Anyway, it's my reaction to react or respond. Soda or water bottle. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up the sound down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.